to the Parks Department, and hopefully Mr. Blasio knows we have our next Parks Commissioner in the room with us today. So I'm Harry Bubbins. I'm the director of Friends of Brook Park in Mont Haven on East 140th Street. And in Community Board 1, although I'm not going to focus, I just want to mention we have about 7 miles of shorefront that we don't have currently accessible. That's one of the reasons why you have the boycottfreshdirect.com table here today. So 20 years ago, they created something called the, and I might get the terminology wrong, so the South Bronx Open Space Plan, that after the period of planned shrinkage and deliberate disinvestment of resources in the South Bronx, the buildings burned, there was a lot of open space, so some people sought to acquire the land for open space in the future in a visionary manner, as you heard our wonderful historian share. So back then in the 80s, people like Dart Westfall was a volunteer and actually worked in Brook Park back then and built some of the garden beds that are still in existence today. Leapfrog until the 90s, and then some local principals contacted me and some people I work with to revitalize an empty park. Stephen Zucker from Mont Haven Middle School principal and Ida Rosa from PS30 asked us to do something on this lot that was empty in front of their schools. Thanks to Bronx Unite, who've been enormously supportive to all of us, and Michael O'Connor at the time, and Ursula and Sarah today, and all the people. We had a bunch of trees and plants and free stuff that helped us have an instant green space. So we've been working since then, and then a historian who worked on the Piccirilli Brothers studio name change on East 140th Street, 142nd, showed us an old map. So the namesake Brook Avenue, Brook Park, is the old brook that ran from Webster Avenue, and one of the slides shows the water catchment area from Webster Avenue to the Bronx Kill. So our visionary plan with community involvement and a planning process has been to restore, not quite daylight, but to recreate the historic wetlands in Brook Park. So that's what we're working on with Parks Department, Mr. Ponte, Mr. Kavanaugh, and everybody. We're very excited about breaking ground on that this year. And moving forward for 20 years, what we want to have is more open space in Community Board 1. We want to have shorefront access after we stop FreshDirect. We want, hopefully, within 20 years, we'll have a greenway going from the Bronx River to the South Bronx and get to Randall's Island, actually, by then, and have a dedicated budget for park staff as well. Thank you very much.